The first thing you notice in Grenada is the scent. It drifts on the breeze: nutmeg, cinnamon, cocoa, and cloves, the fragrance that gave this island its name, the Island of Spice. Small on the map, with just over 130,000 people, Grenada holds within it centuries of history, resilience, and surprising beauty. Long before Europeans arrived, the island was home to the Kalinago, or Carib people, who called it Camarogni. They fished, farmed, and defended their land fiercely. When French settlers came in the 1600s, the Caribs resisted so strongly that legend says many leapt from cliffs at Sauteurs rather than surrender. That act of defiance still symbolizes Grenada's spirit. Better to fall free than to live in chains. The French and later the British turned Grenada into a plantation colony, worked by enslaved Africans who cut cane, harvested cocoa, and picked nutmeg in brutal heat. Though slavery ended in 1834, its legacy lived on in songs, dances, and carnival masquerades that still pulse with memory. Today's jab jab, covered in black oil and clanking chains during Carnival, embodies that spirit of survival. Independence came on February 7, 1974, but Grenada's path was turbulent. In 1979, Maurice Bishop and the New Jewel movement staged a revolution, promising literacy, healthcare, and dignity. For a time, Grenada became a beacon of hope, but Cold War pressures and internal conflict ended in Bishop's execution in 1983 and a U.S. invasion soon after. Those days left scars, but also gave Grenada a determination to rebuild stronger. Today, Grenada thrives on agriculture and tourism. Hillsides are covered with nutmeg and cocoa trees, producing world-famous spices and award-winning chocolate. The Guayave Nutmeg Processing Station fills the air with aromas that seem like Christmas year-round. Cocoa farmers ferment and dry beans in the sun, turning them into some of the world's finest chocolate. The capital, Petite Georges, is a gem of the Caribbean. Its horseshoe harbor, the Carnage, bustles with fishing boats and market stalls. Red-roofed houses climb steep hills topped with Fort George, where cannons once defended the coast and where Grenada's revolution reached its tragic climax. The city is alive with schoolchildren in colorful uniforms, vendors selling mangoes and breadfruit, and the smell of spices and sea breeze mingling together. Beyond the capital, Grenada's natural beauty shines. Grand Anse Beach is a perfect curve of white sand and turquoise water, one of the most celebrated beaches in the Caribbean. Inland, waterfalls like Annandale and Seven Sisters tumble into lush pools, while Grand Etang Lake, formed in a volcanic crater, rests surrounded by rainforest where monkeys leap through trees. Divers explore coral reefs and the haunting underwater sculpture park, where statues on the seabed slowly become living reefs. Grenada's sister islands add more character. Carriacou, the island of reefs, is famous for hand-built wooden boats and the big drum dance, an African-inspired tradition honoring ancestors. Petite Martinique, even smaller, is a fishing community where nearly every family lives by the sea. Together, they complete Grenada's tri-island identity: three small worlds with one heartbeat. Culture thrives in Grenada's festivals, especially Carnival. Each August, streets erupt with color and music. Masqueraders in feathers and sequins dance to soca and calypso. Steel pan bands compete, and the Jab Jab March, covered in oil and chains, turning history into performance. Music is Grenada's language. Soca dominates Carnival. Calypso critiques politics with humor. Reggae fills bars, and drums carry rhythms older than the island's colonial past. Food is just as central. The national dish, oil down, is a one-pot stew of breadfruit, coconut milk, callaloo, salted meat, and dumplings simmered together until flavors blend. It is more than a meal, it is community, often cooked outdoors and shared with neighbors. Cocoa tea flavored with nutmeg, fried bakes with saltfish, and fresh lobster from island waters all tell Grenada's story and taste. Grenada surprises in many ways. Though small, it is the world's second largest nutmeg exporter. It hosts Petite Georges University, a medical school drawing students from more than 140 countries, making this tiny island unexpectedly global. It is also one of the Caribbean's safest and friendliest nations, where hospitality, come, sit, eat, is instinctive. Even after disasters like Hurricane Ivan in 2004, which destroyed 90% of homes and nearly all nutmeg trees, Grenadians replanted, rebuilt, and recovered with remarkable resilience. As night falls, Grenada glows gently. In steady Georges, lights shimmer on the harbor. On Grand Anse, waves whisper under moonlight. In villages, drums begin to play, and in Carriacou, fishermen mend nets under skies blazing with stars. Everywhere, Grenadians live their story quietly but proudly. Grenada is not only paradise, it is spice, soul, and survival. It is the leap at Sauteurs, the chains remembered in Carnival, the taste of oil down, the scent of nutmeg drifting across the hills. It is the laughter of children in schoolyards, the strength of farmers replanting after storms, and the welcome of strangers treated as friends. Small as it is, Grenada holds a story as vast as any nation. A story of history endured, beauty celebrated, and resilience unshaken.